a DIA waitress struggling to make ends meet.
I just had one of those days the day before where nothing went right for me at work.
Until a complete stranger and Hollywood TV host turned it around, leaving her an unexpected gift at the table.
It means the world to my baby and my family. We never expected that ever to happen to us.
Loved by so many.
Jimmy was a good person.
Tonight, a family is being remembered after 5 of them were killed in an overnight house fire. Now, a murder investigation underway.
I hear squealing tires, horns a couple times a day.
Fed up with the crashes.
Come on, you got to do something to keep your people safe.
Residents in one Denver neighborhood say they have been pushing city leaders for a stop sign for years and still no movement to make an intersection safer.
This pandemic has shattered the restaurant industry. Thousands of workers laid off or furloughed, and many are still struggling to make ends meet.
Well, one mom-to-be is thankful for her job, and now for an unexpected boost from a famous face. Denver7's Addie Guajardo reports.
It's a rush to catch a flight, but some have time to grab a bite.
He was sitting just right over there.
And you never know who will drop by.
And I'm like, why do you look so familiar?
After grabbing some drinks, it hit her.
That looks like the guy from Catfish.
The host of MTV show Catfish.
Make a fake profile to talk to guys.
Neve Schulman was sitting at her table. Zulia Reyes has been serving nearly a decade and just over a year at Smashburger.
I've seen celebrities, met them.
But this encounter was different.
He's like, so when are you due?
Her response made a connection.
And I told him it's September 26th. He's like, that's my birthday.
And he made sure.
This can't be happening. This can't be true.
It was a day she wouldn't forget.
The tip was $926 for my due date, which is September 26th. It means the world to me. It means the world to my baby and my family. We never expected that ever to happen to us.
This mother-to-be has been through a lot.
I just had one of those days the day before where nothing went right for me at work.
Her husband is out of work. Back in April, she was laid off for nearly a month, and a return to work pregnant added to the stress.
I was petrified, I was scared.
But acts of kindness like these.
Congrats on your baby girl. Fingers crossed for 926, Nev.
That brought light and eased the stress for this mother-to-be.
Means rent at least, or means at least her crib or her stroller is paid for, and it's it makes me so emotional that something like that is taken care of and I don't have to worry about it.
Addie Guajardo.
This little baby girl is going to be so blessed.
Denver7.
Oh, that's wonderful. And actually, Neve took off before Reyes even saw that tip. She says she's reached out on Instagram to thank him. And by the way, the virtual edition of Catfish launched today, and Reyes says she is now the biggest fan.
I bet. And new tonight at 10, we are learning more about the victims of a horrific house fire early this morning. Investigators say they are now investigating this fire as a homicide as arson investigators work to determine a cause. 5 people lost their lives, including Jabril Deal, also called GB. We found an article from the CSU newspaper from 2018 that profiled him, a first-generation college student who studied civil engineering. And he was also financially supporting his family, both here in the U.S. and back home in Senegal. According to a GoFundMe, Majibi, his wife, his daughter, sister, and nephew all died in the fire. 3 other family members were able to escape, including his brother, who spoke to Denver7 just hours after that fire.
GB was like a good person, like a good worker, like a good Muslim. Yeah, he respects all the people and he helped all the people.
No arrests have been made. A GoFundMe has already raised more than $37,000.
And this is a tough one to report tonight. A 9-month-old died today after being brought to Denver Health Monday. And tonight, police are investigating the death as a murder. Now, we're not sure where the parents are or how the child died. And as of this hour, no arrests have been made.
And take a good look at this picture. Police need your help finding this man who took off with a dog in Idaho Springs yesterday. Investigators say a woman met the man. He asked if he could walk her dog while she was in the pool at the Indian Hot Springs. And police say at some point the man then reportedly took the black and white Great Dane, just took off. So if you know anything, please call police. And a horrific story out of Lakewood. Police need help identifying these 2 people caught on video shooting and killing a dog over the weekend near 12th and Teller. We're told that dog was a pit bull mix. It's not clear why they wanted to harm the dog. So if you know anything about this case, please call police. Denver residents are calling it a dangerous intersection, and today another crash, this time nearly killing 3 people sitting outside a Denver brewery.
Neighbors and the brewery owner in Denver's Baker neighborhood say they have asked the city for a couple of stop signs there, and so far just nothing.
So one neighbor contacted Denver7 for help, and here is Denver7's Gary Brode.
This scene becoming too familiar, yet the demand remains the same.
We've been asking for 2 more stop signs, that's it.
Neighbors near the intersection of First
I hear squealing tires, horns a couple times a day.
and Cherokee
I'm hearing a lot of like honks and screeching.
are sick of crashes and near misses.
Today my brother almost died, my brother's fiance almost died, and their friend almost died.
On Wednesday, Tamir Danone's family was saved by a pole.
3 people sitting outside on a permit the state gave me could have been run over by a car.
He's one of the owners of Novel Strand Brewing Company, located at the intersection.
Then the fire department left and nobody shows up. So I'm directing traffic for 2 hours. Me, a civilian with no training in traffic control. I make beer. It's our neighborhood brewery. We care about it a lot. And it's really upsetting.
After the crash, Elizabeth Martin contacted Denver7.
We've been slated for a stop sign for a while now, at least, I think, a year.
Unwilling to wait for the city to put up the signs they say they were promised,
We've been told many times that we're getting a stop sign here and nothing happens.
neighbors took matters into their own hands.
We don't need you to do a study. We don't need you to do a review. We don't even need you to justify the 2 stop signs in terms of money. Just put them there and we'll all be happy. You'll never hear from us again.
In Denver, Gary Brode, Denver7.
Tonight, crews are trying to get the 111 fire under control. It's burning near Glenwood Springs. Last check, between 30 and 45 acres and about 25% contained. Fire crews say this one was human-caused but accidental. The search has ended at Chatfield Reservoir. Today, crews recovered the body of the 18-year-old who went missing last Friday while swimming. And our thoughts and prayers go out to that family tonight.
Colorado State University's president says she will be launching an investigation after reports of football coaches told players not to report COVID-19 symptoms. Some players are now disputing those claims after anonymous tipsters sent their concerns to the Coloradoan, a Fort Collins newspaper. Now, according to the report, at least 10 people, both players and staff members, came forward saying players were told not to report COVID-19 symptoms and that they were threatened with shortened playing time if they quarantine. There are also reports CSU is altering contact tracing reports so players can continue training. But these claims were met with pushback today as players tell Denver7 CSU football is doing everything it can to keep players safe.
I'm pretty close with Adazio at this point where I know that he would never threaten playing time like that for a pandemic like this, where after every team meeting he ends with the players are my #1 priority.
Both Coach Steve Adazio and the Director of Athletics, Joe Parker, say they fully support the president launching an independent investigation. The coronavirus pandemic has now killed more than 700,000 people worldwide. The U.S. is still the hardest hit country, both in number of cases and deaths. For the 9th straight day, the U.S. has averaged around 1,000 coronavirus-related deaths daily, pushing the U.S. death toll past 156,000. Here in Colorado, more than 1,700 people have died due to COVID-19. Another 1,800 deaths are from people who had the virus, but their death may not be directly attributed to COVID-19. As for the case count, today we added nearly 600 cases, bringing the state total to nearly 49,000.
And the debate continues tonight over how to return to school. They're specifically concerned tonight about Westminster's school return plan. Now, even though they are offering a K-12 virtual academy for online classes, they have not steered away yet from the option of in-person learning 5 days a week starting this month. And this viral photo of students at a Georgia high school certainly isn't helping ease concerns. Look at this. Crowded halls, very few masks. That school superintendent emailed the parents there saying, this is a quote, "There is no question that photo does not look good." The email says the high school has more than 2,000 students, so class changes, quote, are a challenge, but that students are only in the hallways for a brief period and that they are working on ways to keep students from gathering.
For months, the state has been tracking the impact this pandemic is having on the health of Coloradans and our economy. And today, the state released its latest economic indicator report. And according to this report, unemployment is still a big concern. Initial claims are decreasing, but job growth is slow. Retail and restaurants are starting to rebound, but transportation is struggling. The pandemic is causing DIA to scale back the Great Hall project. RTD, meanwhile, is facing a $166 million shortfall, and the district is now considering cutting future funding to its Fast Tracks projects, including the long-awaited Boulder to Longmont train.
Nobody wants to complete these projects more than RTD, but we have to face our financial reality, and that financial reality is more stark now.
RTD is also furloughing non-union employees, dipping into its reserves, and making administrative cuts. It says service cuts are a last resort.